Hello, welcome to Work Health and Safety Legislation presentation. Workplace health and safety refers to the legislation of the Act, the Work Health and Safety Act 2011, Commonwealth. The legislation governs how organisations protect the health and safety of everyone in the workplace, including risks and hazards. A few topics I'm going to discuss are Work Health and Safety Act 2011, the Commonwealth. This is the legislation passed by Parliament that states the legal framework in protecting the health and safety of people in the workplace. Regulations, the rules and the states that that must be followed, stating how the rules are legally applied and penalties and consequences if they're not followed. Codes of practice, the rules that state of how to meet those standards. So the Work Health and Safety Act 2011, acts were written on a broad legal terms to refer to the wide range of different workplaces there are. It just outlines the regulations, codes of practice, guidelines and standards, industry guidelines, workplace policies and procedures. There are many workplaces out there that obviously everything doesn't apply to the same job because they're all different jobs, different regulations. You know, if you work in a restaurant or something, you're going to have, hot food and stuff, whereas if you're in a building site, you're going to have, falls and climbing ladders and things like that. So the regulations, that's what the state says that are applied, followed by the workplace. The codes of practice provides advice to organisations on how they can meet the standards and how they've been set in the Work Health and Safety Act regulations. The codes of practice aren't legally enforceable, but it can be used against you in court if it happens that way. Guidelines and standards refers to the formal statements created by various state and territory regulations to assist workplaces in applying the Act with practical advice about how workplace can ensure compliance. Guidelines and standards can also be known as interpretive guidelines. Industry guidelines and standards refers to the government agencies, industry bodies and associates provide guidelines in the context of their own industries. Guidelines are specific to industries, makes it easier for workplaces to understand, follow practices. So that, again, that's if whatever industry you work in, there's different guidelines as to your job. Policies and procedures. It's an individual workplace and organisations require their own work health and safety policies and procedures based on their own regulations, codes of practice and guidelines and standards. These policies, procedures are specific to their industry. So that includes safety manuals and standard operating jobs and job descriptions and guidelines to their specific job. Workplace health and safety requirements that relate to the workplace communication and consultation. So there's the policies and procedures manuals. This provides answers of what to do in a certain situation and how to do it. The SOPs and job cards, like fact sheets that describe exactly how to do a certain task. Job descriptions details the roles and responsibilities in each position, stipulates expectations and responsibilities around the safety. Staff training, provide workers with safety training. Reports refers to work health and safety statistics, incidents and accidents in the compliance to legislations. Incident and accidental form helps create training to help avoid accidents. And signs, so provides warnings and potential hazards like slip signs or water on the floor. Hazards and risks. So a hazard is a possible source of a harm. A risk is the likelihood of the hazard causing harm and impact of harm. And control is how to eliminate or minimise the potential risk. Hazards in the workplace. So there's many potential hazards in the workplace. Some that I've thought of are frayed electrical cords, unguarded machinery, exposed moving parts, constant loud noises, vibrations, working from ladders, scaffolding, heights, spills, tripping hazards, and many more. Hazard and risk control. Electrical. Appliances should be checked regularly. Replace any worn out items such as electrical cords if they're frayed or broken or anything like that. Teaching employees how to use their equipment correctly. So say if they're using a forklift or something, they should have the license to do so and have the training to be able to operate it. And PPE, so protective gear. You've got to be wearing the protection gear for whatever they're doing, like gloves or steel cap boots or a hard hat. Yeah, so the PPE, so we've just got safety glasses, gloves, hats, reflective clothing, steel cap boots, and then signs. So here's some of the signs that I found, masks, earmuffs, just depending on the industry as to what's required. So I've just found a photo of different hazards that are in the workplace, like blocked emergency exit, guy falling off a ladder, another guy not on a ladder and just standing on pallets, carrying a really heavy load, water on the floor, not wearing hard hats, heavy lifting not correctly, on the phone, on a ladder, on a pallet. So they're just some examples of OH&S issues. So consultation in the workplace safety. So under the Work Health and Safety Act, Commonwealth, employees are required to have a duty of care to consult with issues with staff. So I've just got the other sections. So section 46, duty consult with other duties holders requires all duty holders to coordinate work health and safety activities within the workplace. Section 47, duty to consult with workers requires employees to consult with workers on matters that relate directly to their health and safety. Nature of consultation requires employees to share all relevant work health and safety information and allows employees to contribute to the work health and safety discussions. When consultation is required when identifying risks and hazards and developing strategies. So how to inform employees. A group of employees could be a group on the same shift, in the same work area, have the same work role, or from the same department. So the health and safety representatives, known as HSRs, that represent groups. So they're just someone elected from that group to represent the whole shift or the whole group. So they represent the work group. They monitor and control measures to protect the members, investigate complaints from members relating to work health and safety, and inquire into anything that appears to be a risk of health and safety to the members. And that's just my references from the websites I gained. Thank you for watching.